When you left that firm finally, where it was all the men, and it just sounds like a horrible experience, what did you do next? Or did you have a plan?
I did have a plan.
A mission?
I had a plan. Once I realized I was leaving, I planned it out for like 6 months. Mm-hmm. And I got a really small office. I mean, one office, one reception room, and a little kitchenette. Scared out of my mind. It really was expensive to start up a company. But all of the women that I've been teaching and that had become clients were still referring more clients. And it was growing and growing and growing. And then finally I realized I was going to be in trouble here because I couldn't service them all.
So it's a little too popular with the women in the community.
It was, I was getting very big.
Because no one else was really
No, there were no
catering.
Women. There were no women. So I got
catering to them.
Really, really big fast, and I knew I'd lose them if I couldn't service them, right? I started hiring more advisors. My little firm was on the top 100 best women financial advisors in the country. Mm-hmm. And we live in Fresno. And I was on that Barron's magazine for years and years and years. My assistant that was with the men, she followed me. She was with me. And she became an advisor, then all the men. And then we got Nick. Now, you're an interesting story because you really were, first of all, you really didn't want to move to Fresno. No. You were living in Chicago and having a good time. But Nick accepted the offer and you both decided to move. And then once your children were in school, you didn't have much to do. Mm-hmm. And there was no industry for you that you had in San Francisco or in Chicago.
Yeah, my background was as an account manager for some tech companies. One thing I could do well was relationship management.
And that's why I suggested you come work for the firm. Now, I start every advisor off as an assistant. So, you know, their job isn't very fancy, but it's a lot of work. And now they know the inner workings of what all these wonderful assistants have to do. And so you started as an assistant, and then you started becoming more interested in financial planning, and that's pretty much where it took off. I mean, when did you finally decide that you wanted to do the financial planning part?
Yeah, it was just getting to know the clients and the accounts I was working on. And I started out actually answering the phone at the front desk.
You did. I forgot about that part.
And I tried to work on some of the marketing, but we didn't have much of a budget. Then it was time for me to be an assistant, and then that's where I really learned a lot of the details and the inner workings, and then getting to know the clients. And I was really intimidated by the field because, you know, I'm not naturally great at math, and I really didn't know anything about finance, which is funny, even though you're a CFP.
But I think that's why there are fewer women in this field.
Right.
You know,
it's more intimidating
right.
than it actually is.
Right.
The financial jargon that goes around, and I think maybe just hearing men speak about it for so long, you just feel intimidated. But I had an interest in it, and I knew I was good at, you know, building relationships, and so I just went for it.
And that's what women want, you know.
Right.
And actually, even married couples. I mean,
yes.
all of the men that we have as clients are really wonderful people that admit they don't know anything about financial planning and they need help.
It's because we provide a space where they can share that.
That they feel comfortable.
Where they won't be judged.
Right.
So.